I've been hearing this conversation a lot today, and I just wanted to weigh in with my opinion. Who are the best 5 teams in the AFC? Well, number one, I'm going to have to say is definitely the Houston Texans. I don't think there should be too much argument there. They've been dominating all year long. That defense has been terrific all season, and they've got a fairly balanced offense. And you saw this week how they dominated the Ravens. Arian Foster, one of the best in the league. You've got other weapons like Tate and Johnson, Matt Schaub, Owen Daniels. This is a very scary team, and it doesn't seem like there are too many teams out there that can really stop them. And they have become my Super Bowl favorites for the AFC. And the number 2 team, I'm actually going to throw a shocker here. I'm picking the Broncos. I think I like the Broncos mostly because of defense. They have an underrated team as far as they've got a great running back in Willis McGahee. They do a good job on the ground. They've got a very strong defense. Champ Bailey and Tracy Porter, 2 of the best cornerbacks in the league, arguably the best cornerback tandem in the league. They've got some great playmaker in Von Miller at linebacker. I think this is a good all-around team, and they're still finding their rhythm. I think they will continue to win more and more games as time goes by. And then number 3, I'm going to put the Patriots because they're playing well. They're playing hurt right now, and they're still playing well, finding a way to win games. And they've got a head coach in Bill Belichick who is fantastic. And he knows how to get his players in position to win, and these players know how to follow his orders and do what they're told because they understand that he's a smart guy who can get them those wins. And I believe that as they continue getting healthier, you will continue to see them dominate more often. That defense is still suspect, which is why they're number 3. I don't trust that defense yet. There are a lot of young players on that side of the ball, but as the season progresses, I think they will continually do better. And number 4 is the Steelers, and pretty much for the same reason. I think they could easily be number 2. It's just that there are too many inconsistencies. They're really banged up right now, though, and I think once they get healthier, you're going to start seeing them win more games. I like the way that they played on Sunday, and I think that when they have a full, healthy defensive roster with Woodley, Palomalu, Harrison, all of them playing at 100%, when they have their full healthy core of running backs with Redmond and especially Mendenhall, this is a team that can really do some damage. They are not over the hill. They have a few players who were over the hill. They got rid of those players, but this team still has a few years of fight left in them. Palomalu is still one of the best in the league. Ben Roethlisberger is still one of the toughest QBs to play against. Just ask any defensive player. This is a team that is still not too far removed from its last championship. And if you look at those championships, those last 2 championships they've had, 2 of the staples of those teams, Ben Roethlisberger and Troy Polamalu. They were there for that first one all those years ago. They were there for that second one a few years back. They're still here now. They've still got a great core on this roster, and they are still dangerous, despite all the weaknesses that they are now showing. And number 5 is the Ravens. 2 weeks ago they were number 1 to me, but in recent games, they've showed that the defense to begin with was getting older. They were struggling to make stops. They didn't allow a lot of points. They created turnovers, but they allowed so many yards, and eventually those yards do start catching up with you. And now, no Ray Lewis in the middle, and they're going to miss him on the field more than anything. He's such an inspirational guy, such a motivator. I've never seen a more motivational speaker. This is a guy that can be on the field with you and rally the troops, and then on top of that, he goes out there and he backs up his words with his playmaking. And I think that's a huge difference. He makes you respect him. And then on top of it, and then you've got a guy, you've got Ladarius Webb out for the year, and the NFL is a passing league, so when you're playing an entire season without your top cornerback, it is going to affect you. They still have Ed Reed, but he's 33 years old. He's playing with injuries. He's not going to be able to win games for you. He needs a little help, and now Haloti Ngata, he's playing hurt as well. Good news is Terrell Suggs has been activated, and as the season goes on, he will continue to heal, and he'll play better, and come playoff time, this defense might be looking like back to normal again. Maybe. They've got good leaders on that field. Ed Reed is one of the smartest players you'll ever see on defense. And Terrell Suggs can bring the intensity that Ray Lewis has with his on-the-field playmaking. These guys can be leaders in the huddle too. They learned from the best. The biggest issue for me, though, is that the offense is still inconsistent. Joe Flacco said at the beginning of the season that he no longer wanted the Ravens to be known for their defense. He wanted them to be an offensive team. He wanted the offense to carry them. They did well enough to start the season, but these last couple of weeks against Kansas, against the Cowboys, and especially against the Texans, there have been times where this offense falls extremely flat, and they are not playing up to the level that they should be when you consider all the talent they have on the roster. Ray Rice, one of the best in the league, if not the best, definitely top 3. And you've got guys like Torrey Smith and Anquan Bolden. These guys are fantastic players. Joe Flacco, he's got that big arm. He can be a playmaker. He's shown you that leadership and decision making, but they have not played consistently well enough for me to really regard them as a number 1 team. And honestly, they're only staying in the top 5 because I can't think of any other teams that I really trust right now. I mean, there have been times throughout the year where New York looked good, but there have been times where Mark Sanchez is still Mark Sanchez. The Titans, they're finally starting to look good again. Chris Johnson's finally getting back to form, and they're finally starting to win. But how long is their prowess going to last? I mean, are they still is their defense going to continue playing well? What about the quarterback play? If they keep winning, are they going to stay with Matt Hasselbeck even when Lockett comes back from his injury? I mean, there are too many questions about these other teams, which is why the Ravens stay number 5 for now. But if they can't find a way to keep winning games, it's going to be hard for me to really fear them, and I would not be surprised if they found themselves on the outside looking in when the final playoff picture is set. Because last year, 3 teams from this division made the playoffs, and it looks like 3 teams from this division could make the playoffs again this season, but it's not likely to happen. I thought the Steelers would find themselves on the outside, but you really never know. And so, yeah, it's been a very fun and interesting week.